This week at home has felt like the beginning of that early Christmas hum. Not quite the rush, but the moment you feel the season inviting you in. I've been thinking a lot about sweet treats this year. Not in the sense of pressure or perfection, but the place they hold in childhood, in rhythm, and in how we teach our little ones to approach celebration. For us, this season is less about sugar and more about sweetness. The sweetness of slowing down, making something with our hands, preparing simple gifts, creating memories that feel handmade and warm. That's really what I want my toddler to feel as he grows up. So while we did bake a couple of treats this week, some sourdough gingerbread cookies and these cacao cranberry bliss balls I love, the baking itself was only part of the experience. The bigger picture for me is helping him understand why we make things, why we give, and how we take joy in making something beautiful together. I've noticed that at this time of year, it's really easy for sweets to become the centre of everything. Parties, school things, gifts, supermarket aisles overflowing. It can feel like there's sweets everywhere you look, and it's almost like the expectation builds and builds. And that's totally normal in our culture. But at home, I like to keep it a little more grounded. I don't want my toddler to grow up thinking treats are something to be restricted or obsessed over. I want them to naturally find their place, enjoyed, shared, celebrated, but not relied upon. So a lot of what I do now is modelling. We bake because it's enjoyable. We taste because it's delicious. We share because giving is joyful. And then we step back into normal life with the same gentle rhythm we always have. I find when I approach it that way, he naturally follows. He helps stir, tastes a little, plays with the dough, offers some to me, and then runs off because something else has caught his attention. There's no pull or urgency around sweet things, and that feels like the foundation I want him to take into childhood. When we make the sourdough gingerbread cookies this week, it wasn't about perfect icing or getting a Pinterest-worthy result. It was just the two of us in the kitchen, flour everywhere, the dough sticking slightly because he kept touching it with his little fingers, cookie cutters being used as toys more than tools. And it was beautiful. Those are the moments I know I'll look back on, the imperfect ones. The ones where the cookies are a little thick and half the decorations ended up in one spot. But there's so much warmth in those moments. Christmas baking becomes less about the biscuits and more about the experience of creating something side by side. That's why I love incorporating these simple treats into our family rhythm. They're not an extra that I have to push myself to fit in. They become part of how we gather and transition at this time of year. Something else I've been thinking a lot about is gift giving. I really want my toddler to grow up seeing gifting not just as getting things, but as a way of blessing others, thinking of others, and using our hands. So the bliss balls we made, the cacao cranberry ones, are actually going into little jars for gifting. I wrapped one of the jars with simple brown paper and a ribbon, and he helped press it down with his tiny hands. He was so proud of that jar. And honestly, gifting something homemade feels so grounding to me. It slows the whole season down. There's no rushing around shops, no overthinking, just we made this, we thought of you, and here it is. That feels right for this stage of life. Simpler, slower, not overwhelming. And it's such a gentle introduction for a toddler to the idea that Christmas isn't just about receiving. It's about participating, offering, making, sharing. I think a lot of us, especially as mothers in the thick of toddlerhood, can feel intimidated by the mess or the unpredictability of baking with little ones. And yes, there is definitely mess. There is unpredictability. There are moments when you think, was this a mistake? But then there's the moment where their little hands grip the whisk or they press the cookie cutter just slightly off center, and suddenly it becomes worth it. What I keep reminding myself is that baking with toddlers isn't about efficiency. It's not about the end result. It's about connection, sensory experiences, modeling real life skills, giving them a place in the home that feels meaningful. Cooking is one of the earliest ways toddlers learn they can contribute. And even if that contribution is simply stirring a bowl of flour. And from a Waldorf perspective, these early work experiences are incredibly valuable. Children naturally imitate what they see, and giving them real tasks, real tools, and real participation lets them root themselves in the home rhythm in such a beautiful way. I won't go into full step-by-step detail because the recipe cards will be on the blog, but the gingerbread we made was based on my sourdough version, so the dough is soft and really lovely for little hands to knead and roll. It's not too sweet, which I really love, and you can decorate it however you like. We sprinkled on a little colour this year. Nothing elaborate, just enough to make the biscuits feel festive. And the bliss balls were another simple, nourishing treat. Cacao, cranberries, seeds, a little coconut oil. They're rich and chocolatey without being heavy, and they make a really sweet little homemade gift. Even though they're both treats, they don't leave you feeling weighed down, and I love that balance. Festive, but still rooted in nourishment. As I've been moving through the week, I've been reminding myself, and I guess reminding you too, that we don't need to do everything. We don't need to create the perfect Christmas or fill every moment or make every recipe. One or two intentional things done slowly and with presence are so much more valuable than a checklist of activities. A calm Christmas rhythm is really about pacing, breathing, simplifying, making space for joy to enter naturally. Baking fits into that beautifully. Not because it's essential, but because it's a way to anchor the season. A warm kitchen, a softly lit advent candle, a toddler on a learning tower, ingredients scattered across the bench. This is the heart of family flow. I think a lot about what he will remember from these years. I don't think it will be the exact recipes or what gifts we brought. I think it will be the feeling of being included, the excitement of helping, the glow of the Advent candle in the morning, the sound of mixing bowls, and the rhythm of it all. And that's the beauty of creating a Christmas rhythm that aligns with your values. You're building memories gently, slowly, without hurry. You're teaching your child through the smallest moments that joy doesn't need to be loud or rushed or purchased. It can be found in the act of making cookies together on a rainy afternoon. So whether you're baking this week or making simple gifts or just trying to keep days peaceful amongst the noise of the season, I hope this episode leaves you feeling supported and inspired. If you'd like to make these same treats with your little ones, I'll have both recipes linked below, along with the full Calm Christmas playlist if you want more ideas for bringing simplicity and rhythm into your home this month. And if you want deeper support building a rhythm that holds your family through every season, including Christmas, you can find my Family Flow Starter Kit in the description as well. It's the full guide that ties all of this together. Thank you for being here, truly. Wishing you a simple, calm, joy-filled Christmas rhythm at home. See you next week, friends.